Here we are once again. This is Dr. Lisa Ann Homick at Homick Advanced Chiropractic, and this is Brain Snob, episode number 90. Are you melting yet? Yes. It's June. We don't expect it to be this warm this early, but what are we going to do? No point in complaining. Get out there when it's late in the day, get in the shade, enjoy it, and keep it together. Just do that. Keep it together. So this episode today, I want to talk about your two brains and when they fight. Now, you don't actually have two brains, but you have a parasympathetic nervous system and a sympathetic nervous system. And when they don't get along, well, that's my title, when your two brains fight. So I want you to have a great brain, because if you understand how your brain works, you can have amazing life experiences. You give those experiences to yourself because you've got that knowledge. And we need your full participation in the world. You cannot do that with an impaired brain. We need your brain to be performing. Now, I'm a chiropractor and I perform chiropractic adjustments. I give them to people of their chiropractic adjustments of their spine. I haven't said this in a while, but it can wake up somebody in a coma. So if that's the case, what are you waiting for? Because if you're watching this, you are not in a coma. You've got a lot of potential here. So what can we do for your brain? And the brain makes the body. You make your life. What kind of a world do you want to live in? That's the thought of the day, because there's so much happening right now. If you listen to the news, and it can kind of be disturbing and make you go a little bit crazy, and you think, what's going on? And I'm lucky I don't have a lot of craziness happening in my neighborhood, and I hope our neighbors and we're taking care of each other and keeping things calm and sane. But what kind of world do you want? It starts with your brain. That prefrontal cortex has to work properly with the limbic system, which is part of your parasympathetic nervous system. And if they're out of sync, there's going to be a lot of conflict. And if a lot of people out there have impaired brains, there's going to be a lot of chaos going on, and that's just not healthy. And my chaos can affect your chaos, and it just, not that I have chaos, I hope not, but the chaos is unhealthy. It's very damaging to our brains. So I don't want to get so deep and philosophical here, but maybe I will. What happens with you in your life does have a ripple effect in other people's lives. And that's why at the end of my video, I always say, be that positive ripple effect in your community. And right now, I think that there's a lot of meaning, extra meaning in that, because I want you to be that positive ripple effect in your community. Can you do that when your two brains fight? Let me talk about that. You can get the handout when you come to the office. If you don't live near the office, then ask me about this and I'll email it to you. Use this email address, bfachirocoach@gmail.com. bfachirocoach@gmail.com. That's where you contact me for all your coaching questions and how we can connect when you want to get signed up for BFA coaching. And what's BFA? Brain first always, because your brain makes your body, you make your life. Let's get on with what I'm here focused on. The prefrontal cortex, sometimes it says yes, and at the same time that limbic system says no. What's your limbic system? Do you remember that from past videos? It's back here, back of the brain. It's that primitive, innate brain, that survival portion of your brain that's going to jump into action when you are in danger, some kind of threat. It is there to save your life. It works efficiently, too efficiently, because sometimes it gets to be a distraction. Sometimes it disrupts your life, because in the modern world, our brains don't know the difference between a real danger and the modern drama we now have that we've exposed it to. Remember, your limbic system is very primal. It wants to keep you out of danger. When it kicks in, all your blood flow goes to your extremities, and it's no longer at your center. So digestion comes to a halt. Not totally, but you understand what I'm saying. Digestion is going to be decreased. Your immune system is going to be kind of shut down, because it needs to wait for that rest and digest period when you're out of that conflict, when you're out of that fight or flight conflict. And then, hopefully, Stress should only be a few minutes long. Real life-threatening stress should be short-lived. Let me give you an example. If a car cuts you off on the highway, you quickly turn the wheel, get out of the way. Your heart starts racing, but it's over with. You go back in your lane and you just keep on going, and no time to stop, no need for road rage. Just keep on going and get to your destination. That is a brief example of life-threatening stress. It's done. You moved on. And animals move on. They don't carry that memory with them and ruminate over it. Wild animals, they get to safety and they're done. They start munching on leaves or whatever they normally like to do when there is no danger in their life. So the danger should be short-lived and your body should calm down. Your heart rate should restore itself to normal. Your breathing should get back to normal. Now, we have a prefrontal cortex that has the executive functioning. This is the decision making. This is when you want to make changes in your life, when you want to break away from a routine and add something new. New learning is here, the prefrontal cortex. But if your limbic system is stuck in fight or flight, you're not going to be able to do new things. So if you want to accomplish something in your life, and on my handout there's different examples. You may relate to one, you may not, but sometimes we want to lose weight, get healthier, start an exercise program, advance at our job, do better in our career, do more traveling, pay off debt, fix your home, fix your yard, get into that home improvement frame of mind, do some organization, do some decluttering, improve your relationships, live out your purpose and your mission, and that is important. I want everybody to be concentrating on their calling and getting things done on their calling. Be a positive role model and participate in society. So I kind of gave little examples of every facet of life. If you want to be successful at these things, your prefrontal cortex needs to say yes and dive in and do it and enjoy the learning process. Sometimes change is involved. Sometimes you've got to get out of your comfort zone. That limbic system back here is a comfort zone if it's just in that fight or flight procrastination sense. So your limbic system, I kind of call it the procrastinator because it keeps you from doing new things. I talk to people every day who want to do something different with their lives. That's why they're here. But they have brain impairment. They're not moving their brain, feeding their brain, or talking to their brain in proper ways that pulls that out and gives them that energy and that curiosity and that desire to move forward. So there's a procrastination kind of stuckness in the limbic system because it's protecting you. It doesn't want to try something new because it's scary. It brings on anxiety. And when you have that little rush of anxiety, you've got your heart rate goes up, your breathing goes up, your body is in safety mode. And then we kind of get stuck. We get set in our ways. So the limbic system says no, but we want that prefrontal cortex to say yes. And the limbic system has to let go and give it up for a little while. The limbic system needs to take a vacation and go to the beach. We say thank you. You took care of us when it was time, when it was necessary. But right now things are calm. Things are all right. We can get our executive function working again. But limbic system, we love you. Just go to the beach for a while. Just take a rest because you deserve it. A long deserved rest. So what I'm saying in the short version is those two parts of your brain have to be at peace with each other. The prefrontal cortex, executive function, has to work at a certain time. The limbic system, the fight or flight, get me out of here, danger signaler, life-saving survival mode, that has to kick in from time to time. It has to be in balance. And when your stress ends, you've got to reset back to that prefrontal cortex mode so you can do new things in your life. Now, how do we do that? Well, we understand, one, we have to talk to the brain. We have to give ourselves a different conversation. Getting out of your comfort zone, that's not easy. That is the hardest thing that everyone has to deal with, even me. And I'm trying to be patient with the other folks because I know it took me years and years and years to make certain decisions in my life. You know how slow you are at doing things. And then you say, oh, I should have done that a long time ago. Then we turn around and tell our friends, don't do what I did. We tell our children, don't do what I did. And then they do it anyway because that's just how our brains are. So that's the funny thing about life. And I can write a whole book about it, but I wouldn't know where to begin because my prefrontal cortex would be kind of sapped out by that point. So what am I saying? I'm going to put the handout down because I've got to come to a conclusion here. Move your brain, feed your brain, talk to your brain. The part of talking to your brain is getting into that vagus state, reset to vagus where you're not in that fight or flight. When you reset to the vagus state, you can incorporate new things in your life, new habits. You can't be in learning mode unless you're at a relaxed state because learning is slow. Use this example. When you're trying to play the piano and you've never touched the keys in your life and your hand has to go here, your finger goes here. I'll put my finger. You have to have your fingers in a certain position. It takes a long time to get your body mechanics involved. And that's where chiropractic comes in. Not only does chiropractic help your prefrontal cortex, but also your spine. If you're going to play the piano, you need good posture. If you're going to play any instrument, you need to have the right posture. Any activity, whether it's out in the garden, playing golf, riding your bike, you need the right body mechanics, and chiropractic focuses on that as well. Get to that vagus state. I teach you how to do it. Here's another little saying. You've got to slow down in order to speed up. Why? You've got to slow down and get in learning mode so you can reset yourself, reset your plans, reset to a new way of functioning. And then you can speed back up and do it at high speed. When you first learned to drive, you were afraid to put your foot on that gas pedal. You had to test it, and you had to get whiplash a few times, and your parents go nuts and say, stop, but don't press the brake that hard. Things like that. Where to understand when to press the gas pedal, when to press the brake, and when to not step on it so hard. So that is the beauty of the balance between the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system. Have I confused you even more? Well, don't worry about it because you can get that BFA template so you can start looking at the things you want to change in your life. I help you do that with BFA coaching. In fact, you've already got the tools. You were born with the tools. Don't know what they are? I'll tell you what they are. And I will show you how to be more proficient with those tools. It's meaningful and rewarding. But sometimes it takes time, and I'm here to take that journey with you. I will be very patient, but I want to give you some exciting adventures because that's why we do it, because we find excitement at the same time as we're doing something new. You got to get that rush, and I want you to have that excitement about restoring your health, because what can you do with restored health? Well, the sky's the limit. What do you want to do right now in your world where I ask you to be that positive ripple effect? What can you do? Who else can you do it with? Because you don't have to do it alone. Bring somebody with you. Let them tag along so you have a partner to do it with. So I'm going to end the video here now, and I want you to consider the things I was talking about, the two parts of your brain. Let's find the balance, because when you figure out how to master the master system, you're going to be a masterful person with the things you want to do in your life. So check out the blog, check out the other videos. I have a podcast as well. It's called Brain Snob Podcast, and this is just Brain Snob on YouTube. Look at those things. Call me up when you want to get more deeply involved. Don't be shy. Don't procrastinate. Get out of here and get to here. Thanks for watching.